everyone, my name is Singer-Soi, and along with my colleague Ryan Singer, we have created an application called Singer-Soi Tea Times. The intended user of our application is golf course managers, and the purpose of this application is to make the tea time scheduling process more efficient by maximizing revenues and minimizing wait times on the golf course to make player experience better. Although this application has a lot of sheets with data, the golf course manager only needs to interact with the first and second sheets. First, the golf course manager must input information about his golf course such as the hole number, the par, and the length. For demonstration purposes, we have put a sample golf course North Fulton. Next, the manager must input other information such as the number of groups that he wants to allow onto the course on a particular day, which is based on course capacity, the cost per player, and the cost of waiting per hour. We do not recommend that he change the average time per shot because this number is based on data that we collected while observing different types of golfers on the golf course. Also, the average walking speed can be changed depending on a golf course being carts only, walking only, or a combination of the two. If it is a combination of walking and carts, we would put the average speed of both. For public golf courses, once these inputs have been made, the manager simply needs to click this golfer button to run the simulation and risk optimizer. We recommend that he run risk optimizer for at least 20 minutes to get the best results. The results will show up on the bottom of this first sheet. In the first chart, the manager can see which holes on the golf course will pose problems by having high wait times on a particular day. For example, in this case, holes 3 and 11 and 14 pose serious problems in terms of wait times. The holes with the highest wait times will typically be par 3s. The golf course manager can make the players' experience better by warning them beforehand that these holes will pose problems and request them to make play more efficient by allowing the following groups to tee off on certain par 3s while the group ahead is still walking onto the green. This next chart shows the percentage wait time by par, and we can see here again that par 3s take up almost 50% of the wait times. On the bottom, the manager now has access to an ideal tee time schedule with the start times, the times between tee-offs, and the number of players per group. Note that the time between tee-offs is not even and is in fact the most efficient times. The application is currently running the simulation based on a probable mix of golfers that we can see on a golf course. This information is stored on the second sheet called random player data. The golfers range from ages 15 to 80 and their handicaps vary between -5 to +20. We have put golfers with different ages because presumably the older a player, the slower he will walk and thus the more he will impact wait times. Similarly, the higher a player's handicap, the more number of shots he will take and the more time he will take on the golf course, which will again impact wait times. Now for private golf courses, this data can be a lot more accurate as private golf courses always have access to their members' information such as their handicaps and their ages. Thus, before running the simulation, the manager can feed in this data on this sheet to get a more accurate analysis. Once he runs the simulation and gets the ideal tee time schedule, he can then tell his members who want to play on the following day what slots are open based on their time preference and based on the number of people that they are playing with on that day. Another neat thing about our application is that we have incorporated the system of gates for par 4s and par 5s. Wait times in par 4s and par 5s vary from par 3s because in par 4s and par 5s, once the group ahead of you clears a certain distance, you can go ahead and tee off. This is unlike par 3s where you have to wait for the entire group in front of you to finish the hole before you can tee off. So this is our application. We hope you enjoyed it.